Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina. Hope everybody's having a really good day. We may be seeing some weather this upcoming week, although by the time this video airs, it'll be said and done. But I'm getting ready to do later this week, so please look for it. First to Die, and then I'm going to do Murder, Morrington Hall. It's a short series. I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but it's a short little cozy. But we'll do First to Die later in this week, so look for it. But right now we are finishing up and getting ready for Ransom, Connections in Death. And like I have said before, I'm an audio person. And before I forget, please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. I need all the like and support I can get. Most appreciative to those who've already subscribed, but if you haven't, could you please? I had this thing at Christmas. It fell flat on my face, but it went nowhere. I had 140 subscribers last September. I now have gained 20, so that's a thumbs up. You know, there are other channels there that gain 20 in 5 seconds, but this is not this channel. This is the Turtle channel. And we are reading, I'm a series person. I like to read series. I like to read series. My Laurel's up there. That whole bookcase is series. Please check out my tour. It was a bad tour, but I tried really hard. I should have figured out the sound, but I didn't know. Anyway, we've got Connections in Death, and this is an awesome book. And I want to show you, it's got, out of the covers she's only started this a couple of books ago. But out of the covers thus far, this one's my favorite. I'm hoping I show this right. I'm hoping you can see it. I'm hoping you can see it okay. If I do it really slowly, I'm hoping you can see it okay. But this is Manhattan. When we Long Islanders say we never say we're going to Manhattan. No one says they're going to Manhattan. If you live in New York. No one in New York says they're going to Manhattan. What they say is, I'm going to the city. The city translated means Manhattan. If you write a letter to Manhattan, you don't write Manhattan on the envelope. You write NYC. City. It's the city. We're going to the city. I'm going to the city to see a show. No one says Manhattan. And if anybody has a bacon, egg, and cheese Kaiser bagel, oh, good God, a New York cheesecake. If I could get a store where I live, well, a grocery store or 2 separate stores. I prefer the 2 separate stores because the grocery stores try here and they just don't. Although some of the more expensive ones get some of it. But what I really want is a real New York deli with real cold cuts, some boar's head, some potato salad, and a real Kaiser, and then real cookies, leaf cookies, Italian cookies, cannoli cookies. Oh, good God. Oh, I miss it. But anyways, we were talking about Eve Dallas. She's a lieutenant in the New York City Police and Security Department. Her husband is Rourke. He's the richest guy in the universe. Mavis Freestone is her best friend, is a rock star. Leonardo is her husband and a fashion designer. Peabody is her partner, and McNabb is Peabody's partner, Cohab, and he's also a detective in the electronics division. Feeney is her mentor, her trainer, who is now captain of the EDD department. And we meet so many of our characters that we haven't seen in a while, so many that we haven't, that we treasure. This first chapter is I love it. It's the first chapter and the last couple chapters, but it's just awesome. It's just awesome. And if you've stuck with me through all of these readings, and I think this is book 48 in the series, I have to share my enjoyment of these books with you. If you have an author, do you have an author that, and maybe someone you can, if you're still here after 6 minutes, which I most appreciate if you're still here after 6 minutes, because the analytics say you leave after 50 seconds. So that's even before I get started talking. But that's what the analytics say. But I'm using no gimmicks to keep your attention. I'm talking about a book I love. But if do you have a book that you will buy? Don't even care what the hell's it about. It's an Eve Dallas book, period end. Pre-order. It's a Laurel book, pre-order. It's a Janet book, pre-order. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. The book gets pre-ordered. Who cares? When I get the book, I'll read it. There are certain authors that I will buy. I just read them. They're my favorite authors. I enjoy their work. And I like to share my enjoyment with you. And I had this spiel early on, but a lot of it's been discontinued. Because the character has grown. The character has progressed. We don't need to talk about all that stuff before New York and Dallas. But like Eve has been learning slowly over these past 3 years, and even though there's been 48 books, it's only been 3 years in the character's time, to learn how to socialize, because she didn't socialize during her childhood. She grew up in the foster system, and she had these beliefs, and she's learning. Peabody is teaching her, Mavis is teaching her, Nadine is teaching her, Rock is teaching her how to do these social situations. And Eve is just a delight, absolute delight in these situations. And I have to share. I won't give away the whodunit. That's for you to read, and that's for you to find out. But I will spoil the characters up the yin-yang, because they're my favorite characters. The legalized torture of socializing lined right up with premeditated murder when you added the requirements of fancy dress. That was Lieutenant Eve Dallas's stand on it, and she should know. She was a murder cop in fancy shoes about to socialize. Moreover, whoever decreed that fancy shoes for females required sky-high skinny-ass heels, rendering said shoes useless for any practical purpose, including walking, should be immediately subject to every known manner of torture, legal or otherwise. Surely by the almost spring of 2061 in the freaking US of A, useless skinny-heeled shoes should be banned. Beat with hammers, set on fire, then banned. She walked in those damn shoes towards a swank penthouse, a tall, lanky woman in a slinky jade dress that shimmered with her movements while a fat teardrop shot from the chain around her neck. Just who came up with the concept of the cocktail party, Eve wondered. Whoever did by her degree should join the originator of the fancy shoes in the torture chamber. Who the hell decided it would be a freaking fantastic idea to create a custom where people stood around, usually at the end of a workday, making small talk while balancing a drink in one hand and a plate of tiny, unidentifiable food in the other? And oh yeah, whoever came up with small talk as a social imperative, straight into the torture chamber. And while we're at it, throw the stick at the bastard who requirement of a gift every freaking time you turned around, right in there with others. Birthday parties, housewarming, bridal showers, baby showers. Yes, ma'am. Eve has been tortured through it all, and she is learning. But this is a special occasion. One, Nadine's got a new place, and Nadine is the top reporter at Now at Channel 75. She's their ace reporter, and she's got her own show where she does news now, what's happening now, crime now. And she's also an Oscar-winning writer. She wrote the Icove case, and she's finished with if you read Delusions in Death, and that is the Red Horse Chronicles. That's her next book and next movie. And Eve will be tortured through it all. And they've just gotten back, and Nadine wants to show Eve the Oscar. It occurred to her that not only would Rourke enjoy the upcoming torture, but he could have deemed and decreed all the rules of it himself. He was lucky she didn't pop him one. Need a few more minutes for the internal monologue, he asked, the Irish in his voice just adding more charm. It's probably the most sensible conversation I'll have all night. Nadine deserves a party. Maybe she could concede that one. The ace on-screen reporter, best-selling author, and now freaking Oscar winner, and earned a party. But she herself, murder cop, Lieutenant Murder Cop, deserved maybe wishing a hot case had fallen in her lap at the last minute. Because Eve would rather be investigating murder than be at a party, whereas Peabody would rather be at the party than investigating the murder. Why can't a party be brew and pizza and the round ball game on screen? It can. He leaned over to brush his lips on hers. Just not this one. When the doors opened, the quiet, classy corridor filled with voices, music. Quilla, Nadine's teenage intern, stood in a black dress with a silver buckle at the belted waist, short, high-heeled red booties. The purple streaks in her hair glittered. Hey, I'm supposed to say good evening and welcome, and may I take your coats? How do you know we're not crashing? Besides how I know you? Eve nodded. Besides, because lobby security has the guest list and all, and you had to clear through it to get up here. And if you're not some doof who slipped by or lives here or whatever, Nadine would have booted you. The place is full of cops. And they have some more enjoyable conversation, and they go to talk to Nadine. This proves our place is perfect for entertaining. Our place? Nadine smiled at Eve. Well, it's Rourke's building. A lot of your crew's out on the terrace. It's heated and there's a small bar set up. She doesn't want to be on camera. She doesn't. Despite the fact that friendship often baffled her, Eve knew her job. So where is it? Nadine fluffed her hair, battered her cat green eyes. Where's what? Well, if you don't want to show it off. I do, yes I do. Laughing, Nadine grabbed Eve's hand. With the skill of a running back, she snaked through people, wove around furniture, bolted up the curve of stairs, and into a pretty damn swank home office. The gold statue stood on the mantel above it. Eve moved closer, studied it. Weird-looking, dickless gold dude, she thought, but the nameplate read Nadine first, and that's what counted. But if they weren't going to give him a dick, why didn't they give him pants? So she has a conversation with Nadine. Then we have a conversation with Jake. And we catch up on all the characters, on what they're doing. It's just, I love it. How she didn't know somebody in her squad could play the piano, and Detective Carmichael can sing, and they run into another old friend. And this is how we greet old friends. Crack shot his eyebrows up. Cops do bring a party down. The woman beside him gave him a sharp elbow. Wilson. He only laughed. You looking fine for a skinny white girl, cop. You don't look half bad for a big black man dive owner. Down and dirty ain't no dive. It's a joint. Yo, Rock, I want you to meet my beautiful lady. This is Rochelle Pickering. And Eve doesn't like her at first. She will like her in the future. But she doesn't like her because she's protective of her friends. She's very protective of her friends. And that's one of the reasons why she has trouble with the Winters. And we talked about that in the last book. Because Morris went through that thing with Amaryllis. And now De Winters is just being a friend. There's no benefits. They're just friends. And Eve was just suspicious. But when it was all explained to her and she saw that they were just friends, she got through it. And now she's wondering what this woman is doing with crack. And she ends up researching Rochelle and her family. And it turns out that Rock's going to give her a job because she's the best qualified shrink for Nadine, or Nadine, or however you say it. And I just love it. I just love it. He's so awesome. So how's it going there, young lady? Come here. I wish my legs were skinnier. If I could shrink them down. So she goes to work the next day, gets a case, closes it the same day. Rourke interviews Rochelle, tells her she's got the job. Rochelle celebrates with a date with crack. And then after her date with crack, she comes home and they have a very upsetting experience. Someone is angry with Rochelle's brother. He's making a life for himself. He's improving himself. He's got a job. He's working towards staying sober, drugless, all that kind of stuff. He's working on improving himself day by day by day. He's got dreams down the road. He's got this path he's laid out for himself. And someone doesn't like that he's doing this. And someone sets him up. And when Rochelle comes home from her victory dinner with crack, they discover her brother deceased. And I wanted to see, let's see, she sat back on her heels. How do you kill a recovering addict if you're bright but not real bright? Standing back, Rourke steadied Rochelle's brother with pity. You stage it to look like a self-inflicted overdose. and that's how the people did it. But Eve doesn't buy it. Eve knows better. Eve studies the scene. Eve knows the facts. Eve gets a witness who saw stuff, and it leads to a further investigation. She goes. This is a gang story, and she goes into gang territory, and she's smart enough to know that you don't go alone into gang territory. Is this a commentary on my storytelling here? There's a book. But Rourke is with her, and you don't think we can handle it, skinny white girl? Oh, we could handle it, scary Irish boy. But I'm not looking for a gang fight. They sent 3 to take out Lyle. That's not small change. That's not some petty bullshit. It's something else. And a whole lot more. I love the interaction between characters. I love the interactions between Eve and Rourke. So they go to Banger territory. They do some interviews there. They go home, and while they're home, we have talked about the home improvements that Rourke keeps doing and doing and doing. They planted a tree a couple of months ago. The pond, it took her a minute to remember the walk they'd taken on the grounds months before. Somehow they decided to put in a little pond, pick the spot. We're really doing that. It will be pleasant, won't it, when spring decides to come and stay a while to wander out and sit by the water? Yeah, it will. When does the whole thing about March happen? Which thing is that? She circled a finger in the air as she gulped more coffee. The one about the sheep lying down with the lion. And we don't know for sure why Eve gets the sayings wrong, if she does it on purpose or if she just doesn't know. But she always gets a laugh. We always enjoy the moment. Lamb. The lion lies down with the lamb. A lamb's a sheep, and the lion's lying down to eat the stupid sheep. I don't get what it has to do with March, because it has nothing to do with it. I think you mean March comes in like a lion and goes out like a sheep. A lamb, he corrected, dragging his fingers through his hair. It's a bloody lamb. Yeah, it would be if it's hanging around with a lion. He watched her walk into the adjoining bath and thought, well, hell, she's got a point. So they do more investigating. They do more interviews. She talks with Mira. She talks with Rochelle. They find some interesting things going on. They investigate that. They interview the attorney. Apparently the Bangers have a really good attorney. Well, all right, not a really good attorney. Let me rephrase that. A slimy attorney. And the slimy attorney, to save himself on taxes, has put everything in his girlfriend's name, but didn't tell said girlfriend. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Is my review boring? So, I love how, and I won't read the whole, I could sit here and read the whole book with you. I could sit here and enjoy the whole book with you. How she gets revenge for the girlfriend, how she sticks up for the girlfriend and sees that the girlfriend is treated right while he goes to jail, and how she tricks him. And we also have an interesting talk with Rourke later, and I like to talk about the characters. As you know, that's what I've done this whole thing, is talk about the characters. You can read about the mystery And I'm not going to spoil the mystery. I'm just going to spoil the characters of the yin yang. She's talking to Rock and she says, "What was the first place you bought?" "Real estate. A small seedy hotel in Dublin. A rat trap, really, and one my mate said I'd be better burning to the ground. But I wanted it. I could see the bones of it," he added as they walked, "and what it might be with some care and thought and considerable investment." "How'd you afford it?" "Well now," he kissed her hair. "I stole a pearl necklace, 3 strands with a small ruby clasp. Then I took the ferry to Liverpool to someone I knew and hocked it. It was enough for the buy, but not for the rehab. Pearls, and quite nice ones," he recalled. "I took Somerset to see the property, told him what I wanted. He took out a loan for the rest, and in 8 months we opened the Green, a small, elegant hotel we marketed to tourists looking for personal service." "How old were you?" 16, more or less. I had enough from it in a couple of years to pay back the loan, but he wouldn't have it, so we own it together." Still, in the glow of the lights, his eyes hitting a stunning blue as he glanced over at her. "Whatever I've bought and sold, there's only one first." And that's true. There's only one first. We get another body. We get some more interviewing. We meet up with Rio. We haven't seen her in a while. She's really a good attorney. She had a big scene in the icove case in the other book. And all these time, and I'm going to bring this up because it's just hilarious. Hey, Miss Smoke. Smoke. Don't look at him. She's thinking of all the ways to kill Casanova. I can see it on her face. But he's passed out cold. He's 15, 16. He's too old. And she's the queen of the castle. And I keep telling her, we may get some more rugrats. Maybe some itty bitties, depending on what the shelter has. Maybe we'll get a 1 or 2-year-old. We are not biased, as long as someone agrees to be my lap cat. I need a lap cat. That's I will let you hold me when I want to be held. I will come to you when I want to come to you, cat. I need a cat that will come whenever I want it to come. So he passed away in November, so I'm still a little working on that. We gave away all his medicine. And what are you looking at me that way? She knows what I'm talking about. I gave away all that money. The insulin cost $100 a bottle. We gave away 3 bottles plus needles to go with it. And while I felt, damn, I could have sold that stuff and bought some books or bought some groceries even, I gave it to a lady who does rehab for animals. She has like 20-something cats that she takes care of, and I gave it to her. And all of it, the needles too, I just gave it all. It was better than throwing it away. I didn't want to have to sell. I decided we're going to give it away. We did the right thing. We gave it to someone that needed it. And I kept thinking, I wish someone had given me the insulin a couple years ago when I was really low on funds. I mean, he had special food and the insulin and other medical problems. You know, going to the vets costs $500 a visit. Which, by the way, he got a clean bill of health a week before he died. You know, the be-all, end-all blood test doesn't cover brain tumors. So anyways, back to this book, and we get to all the years, whenever Rock comes to the station, whenever they're having a big conference, when Eve gets a conference room and she brings everybody in and they discuss the case, if they're going to do a takedown, if they're going to have a tactical meeting, if they're going to form a task force and do something, and Rock is in attendance, he always feeds the crew. He always brings food in. And my big thing is he should take over the vending for Cop Central and provide real nutritional food and real coffee for the cops in Central. And Eve has always said they're cops, they deserve to suffer. But I think that he should do that for Central. I really do. And there's been some give and take back on the, but some people feel Eve's view, but some people feel my view that he should really fix up Central's food commissary and their vending machines and all that kind of stuff. They should really do that. And if you were around in the 70s and 80s when you worked in the workplace, sometimes your cafeteria had one of those vending machines. Pre-made sandwiches or frozen dinners you could just throw in the office microwave, or like a cup of soup, you boiled some water and just added soup to it, stuff like that, instant foods. And this is something like what the vending is in her place, reminiscent of. But I still think that Rourke should step in and get them sufficient food. Just like there are people that are against Eve's office is a closet. She likes the closet. She doesn't want visitors in her office. But, people do visit her. So I think she should have a better chair. She's afraid if she has a better chair, people will want to stay longer. But it's been X number of years now. I really think Eve needs another chair. And she's going to go kill him. Smokey, come hither. But anyways, I'm getting to my point is, Eve did something she's never done, and she's going to kill all her cops. Once again, Eve mostly missed the morning traffic, considering the raid the night before. She detoured to Jacko's, loaded up on cinnamon buns. She sampled one on a previous investigation and knew their magnificence. And because they were there, she added danishes. Even with the stop, she got into Central with plenty of time to set up for the briefing. Before she moved into the conference room, she swung by evidence, checked out what she needed. And since cop coffee felt like an insult to the cinnamon bun, she hauled in pots of coffee from her office auto shop. Jenkins and his tie came in first. A horde, a flock, a shitload of multicolored butterflies swarm over his screaming blue. Lieutenant stopped to get. He broke off, sniffed the air like a hound on the hunt. Real coffee, sticky buns? Is Rock coming? No. Jenkinson's face fast on his feet, already a mouthful of bun. Sent them nice. No, he didn't send them. It griped seriously. He's not the only one who can think of stuff. We got the best LT in the history of LTs. Very fast on his feet. How's Peabody? She's coming in unless I hear differently. So you can see for yourself. Reinecke came in with a couple of vending machine coffees. Like his partner, he sniffed the air. He dumped the coffees in the recycler, hit the pot with one hand, the pile of buns with the other. Rock's the man! I got the damn buns. I got the damn coffee. I'm the man. The man, Reinecke said with a mouthful. Baxter walked in with true heart. Score. Where's the ixnay on the rock, Jensen warned. How will I ever break your diabolical code? In disgust, Eve poured herself coffee. And it goes on. It goes on. They break the case. And, I skipped one. I have a rant. I'm going to go back a minute on this little piece. Because like I have said, that Eve has yet to discover, I'm being stared at, has yet to discover what the potential of her auto chef. She's never taken the time to investigate her auto chef car or office. Eve hit her auto chef for coffee the instant she walked into her office. Rourke followed it up by programming her a pizza. Oh my God, nothing's ever smelled that good in the history of smells. See that you eat it and use these. He set some ice patches on her desk. Oh yeah. She has no idea there's pizza in her auto chef. But anyway, the last little bit. I have to share. Because he finally gets her to Undine. and it means haven. He moved to the doors, excellent security, of course. She took the 2 steps up to join him. I know you'll think of the girls we found, he said before he opened the door. The ones you found justice for. I hope what we've done here and will do might add some peace as well. And that's Concealed in Death. You have to check that book out. Um, She remembered what she'd seen before, the crumbling interior, dirty walls, the hole in one of them Rock's sledgehammer ceremoniously had opened, and the remains of those young girls behind it. Now as Rock called for light, she saw a clean, fresh space, with walls a warm sort of toasty color, with open archways leading into other rooms and spaces. Congratulations, yes, it's more open, I think more welcoming, and even so, should be more efficient. Over here we have a common area, a place students can relax, hang. We'll have a screen in here, easy furniture, games, music, books. We'll have another common area, so no screen, a quiet space for studying, doing assignments, reading, that sort of thing. Some classrooms on this level, administration offices. I've asked Somerset if he'd come in and instruct now and again. Her jaw actually dropped. You, Somerset? The man can cook, you'll agree, and he enjoys children. Somerset, she murmured, as he led her back through then up the stairs, wide, sturdy ones with sturdy rails. He showed her the bedrooms, each one with windows, with closets, with built-in study areas. She toured a game room and a space for music lessons and one for dance. When I was in school, a state school, I marked the days. I swear to Christ, I marked the days from the time I went in until I could get out. I can look back and see it wasn't all bad. I learned things. It wasn't all terrible, but I marked the days. It's going to be a great school. So check it out. Connections in Death. If you want to know more, you want to know how Eve solves the case and how she gets justice for Rochelle Pickering's brother, check it out. Connections in Death. Please hit the like and subscribe and have a good day. Most appreciative you tuning in. Thank you.